On this episode of Left Side Heavy, the podcast, we brought on our good friend Cheesehead, Cory Letendre. Always a good time talking to this lad. It's an house cleaning episode. We talk NHL, NFL, and a little bit of baseball. With Blue Jays putting up 28 on the Red Sox. So it was unbelievable. Tkachuk trade, Kyler Murray contract, the whole 9 yards. And then we play a little over, under, or properly rated. We each give a couple. So it was a very fun episode. If you're listening to this, but you want to watch instead, head to the YouTube. And while you're listening, leave a rating and review. It really helps grow the show. Always presented by the lovely Blue Wire. So go huck them a follow on Twitter. Hayden, you can follow him at Hayden_Bart. Myself at Jevon.Lefave on Instagram, at JevonLefave on Twitter. Catch the show at LeftsideHeavy_ on all platforms. And enjoy the show with me, Hayden, and Cory Letendre on episode 112. Let's go. It's episode 112 of Left Side Heavy, the podcast, presented by Blue Wire. It's your boys, Hayden and Jevon, and we got one of our favorite people ever, our cheesehead, Cory Letendre. How's it going, my man? How we doing tonight?
We're doing good. We're going good. I'm doing good. It's going good. It's all good.
That's so
good.
sick, but watch this.
Oh, best sound in the world.
Yeah, I forgot to start it off. It's
right.
episode 112. No, I'm kidding, but
I don't have a can I'm drinking from. I didn't know this was part of the thing. I can go get a can and I'll do the thing.
You have a mouth though. Just... yeah, there we go.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty fire.
Thanks. I've been working on it for a long time.
I can tell.
I didn't actually go to school. I don't actually have a job. I spend all day.
You're a voice actor.
Yeah, I do it and I play it back. I mean, I could say I'm a voice actor, but no one pays me.
You're a freelance voice actor. You're freelance. Yeah. You're in between jobs right
to
now.
Get noticed. So if someone's listening to this and you heard that sweet sound.
You're in between jobs right now.
Yeah, just 3 decades in between jobs.
Yeah. No, but before I rudely interrupted you with my cracking of the can, how are you doing? What have you been up to lately? Heard you went to the beach today. That sounds fun.
I did. We went all the way to Espanol Banks.
Oh, you went to Mexico? That's fire.
Rad. Just a quick day trip.
Yeah.
Just across the Gulf. You know me, I have a private jet. I ride it for 15 minutes at a time, like Drake.
And Kylie Jenner.
That's it. And Kylie Jenner, exactly. I'm a real ass. But no, beach was great. Nice to get out there in the sun. I bought a bucket hat. No, you know what? I didn't dig a hole. I should have. I wish I dug a hole and got Dell.
What's the point of going to the beach then if you're not going to dig a hole?
If you didn't make a sandcastle and you didn't dig a hole, were you even at the beach?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I read a book a little bit because I'm fancy. Listened to some music. Dilly farted around on my phone. Nice. Was doing my fantasy hockey league. A couple little things there. Some transactions. Signed Jason Zucker to my league for 1 year. I'm killing it. That's
all. What's the AAV?
3.5. Got him at a deal. No one made an offer yet on him so far this year. And I was like, well, I mean, you should join. My team won the championship this year. Actually.
Is that
good? Yeah, I am. There's 32 teams, Jeff. It's pretty good. Full league, beat all those nerds. Made it through the playoffs.
Nice.
I'm a champion, baby.
I love
this
that.
Guy. RVD. I wish, but no, it's good. Things are great. Work's awesome. Work. Radio stuff.
Love that.
Just doing shows. I actually just got promoted. That's fun.
Ooh.
That's right. Hey.
Congratulations.
That's right. I bet you two don't listen to 980 CKNW, but your parents might.
You got promoted from random guy always begging for a job outside the building to janitor.
That's right. It's actually custodial agent, but thanks.
No, but what are you doing now?
I was a chase producer, which is essentially helping out other shows. You book a guest, cut a little audio, that kind of jazz. And now I have a show of my own that I produce.
Ooh.
So I'm a lead content producer of the Mike Smith Show on 980 CKNW.
That's so awesome. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Huge congrats, man.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
I'm doing stuff with my degree.
Always love to see it.
Yeah, you'll have to see it. Otherwise, it's just a piece of paper hanging on the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't waste precious years of your life for nothing.
I know, right? Going to school at 30, and I'm like, God, this better pan out.
So trades are always good to fall back on, I hear. So
yeah,
that's where all the money is.
I could fix an HVAC.
I could clean a toilet or two in my day.
Yeah, I mean, how far of it is from a stretch is it from me hooking up my Hello Tushy bidet to actually installing a toilet? It's
Not
just a
that
couple
much.
more bolts you're unloosening, is it not? Put a wax ring down. I work at Home Depot. I get it.
In case it's a struggle, you'll just fucking watch a YouTube video. Then you're good.
Honestly,
YouTube University. YouTube University. It's a thing.
Honestly, I think I could fake my way through almost any job if you gave me an hour to watch a YouTube video about it.
100%. 100%.
They go through the whole interview. They're like, "Wow, you seem really qualified. Do you mind if we just get a picture of your degree?" Now that.
Yeah. I can show
Canva.
you.
Don't worry.
I can show you the accounts I subscribe to, but that's about it.
You can fake a degree. Just take a picture of a different degree and change the words. Photoshop, easy peasy.
Ever heard of it?
I'm like Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie. Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a job.
Frank Abagnale. I'm a pilot.
You're gonna get a job for the FBI in like 5 years.
Just forgeries, I think that's the dream.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the dream. Catching
100%.
criminals. The only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. And that's me. The bad guy with a gun.
I've never heard you sound more American right now.
That's
Cory.
right.
Yeah.
Yeehaw. Yeah, let's get her done, Let's
Roll
have ourselves.
Roll Tide, feller.
Roll Tide.
What's the stupid one for Oklahoma? It's the Sooners. They have some dumb thing. Boomer Sooner or some shit.
I don't know. That's Baker Mayfield.
I don't understand 60% of that country, so I don't really know.
It's a real shithole country. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Sports and entertainment, top notch. Everything else, I don't know.
Yeah, we're rolling dice here. Hayden, how we doing tonight, bud?
Oh, we're doing fucking perfect, man. Just watched I don't know if any of you two watched The Boys, but
love it.
I just finished episode 6 and I'm halfway through episode 7 of the new season.
Is there 8 episodes?
There is, yeah. I'm almost on the season ender, and episode 6 was whew. Let me tell you, there were a lot of tits. Okay.
Oh, hero-gasm.
Yeah.
That's the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I got something random too.
Something came up.
I have to subscribe to an Amazon membership apparently now, so
I got to get primed.
Yeah.
Georgia texted me. Why you started watching The Boys? Yeah, this was randomly. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
You skipped all the way to season 3?
Yeah.
No reason. It seems like you stopped the episode 20 minutes in and just didn't watch anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no reason at all.
No, none.
Jevy baby, do you not watch The Boys?
I don't.
Idiot, you should watch it.
You should.
It is fantastic stuff.
I've heard lots of good things about it.
Mm-hmm. Do you have something better to do? This?
No.
Just ends call.
Yeah. No, there's like 3 Marvel shows like I'm in the midst of watching right now, but I'm like halfway between all of them. I just haven't. I sort of like ADHD when it comes to like TV shows and video games, where I just start one, don't finish it, start another one. Don't finish it, start another
The
one.
worst kind of person.
I'm terrible. Like
I am like the fucking
terrible.
Terminator when I start a TV show, especially if it's like the whole season drops. I'm like, well, I guess this is going to be done in 2 days. I'll sit there and watch it for like 5 hours. I'm like, cleared half this season. Let's do it.
Yeah, I could only wish, but I want to try and, splurge, like purge the shows like I'm in the midst of watching and just because
get rid of those.
Because I mean, Phase 5 of Marvel just came out, so I want to like, all right, maybe I should get my ass in gear and catch up with all the TV shows so I'm not completely behind.
What are you currently watching?
You see, I'm still in the midst of Moon Knight and Hawkeye, but I got caught up with so many other things that I didn't turn my Xbox on for like 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was just a matter of like me being focused on other things, but we'll get back to it.
Real big shot. I get it.
Yeah, it's hard being a big deal,
That's what they say.
So, yeah,
big deal on his big wheels.
Exactly. Not easy. One thing I did watch though was Elvis last night. Now that was a movie.
Of all the of all the things out there right now, you watched the new Elvis movie?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Right. Was it good? Because the trailer for it didn't look great to me. I know who Elvis is. I know the songs, but the trailer was like,
No, it was really good.
Was okay.
Yeah, it was really good. I think you would like it.
I'll give it a whirl there's other movies I would like to watch first, I think. Namely the new Thor movie. I want to watch that.
I was supposed to go see it, and then the plans got dropped, and then I never got back to it.
And you went to see Elvis.
I took my nana out on a date. So
okay, that changes everything. That changes everything.
Wow.
You took a sweet old biddy to go watch Elvis.
It was her
gyrate those hips.
It was her second time watching it, but she really wanted to go see it again.
Wow. She had the hots for Elvis for sure.
Oh, she definitely did.
Yeah.
She ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Margaret LaFave. But boys, there's this episode we're just gonna do a little house cleaning episode, kind of touch on a few sports. We were supposed to do an NBA episode this week, but that's being pushed back. So we'll maybe touch on it a little bit today, but we got some other headlines we wanted to kind of take over. Holy shit, it's hot as fuck in my room right now. I'm sweating from every crevice on my body right now. It is terrible.
Living a pretty cool life right now.
You guys can see it, but like my clothes are moving right there. My hair is moving as well. I have a fan right here just blowing nice. Cool air on me. It's
must
beautiful.
Be nice.
It also, is nice.
Fan
must
in
be
the
nice.
back.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, must be nice. But
no fans.
I have a fan, but it's really loud, so I don't
Kevin
want it
LaFan.
LaFan.
Leno fan. But we'll start in the NHL because there's a big trade. Matthew Tkachuk, he told the Calgary Flames that he did not want to sign long term, so they got after it right away. A couple days later, they shipped him off to Florida for Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar, Cole Schwindt, and a 2025 first round pick going back to Calgary. I think it's Cole Schwindt, or is it?
That sounds very familiar.
But Matthew Tkachuk, he signed an $8 by $9.5 million deal with Florida and is the first ever sign and trade in NHL history.
Really?
How about that? Yeah, first time.
I didn't realize that he signed with Calgary before he went there, but I guess it makes sense because he didn't play in Florida last. Like, even though they would, if Calgary just traded his rights to Florida, he wouldn't be able to sign the 8-year, right? You have to play before you can get it. So yeah, I didn't know until like a couple days after even. I just missed it when I saw he signed. I was like, oh, 8 by 9.5. That makes sense. That's a good contract for Florida and for him.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh wait. So yeah, it's exciting because that opens the doors for the NHL to start to broaden its horizon when it comes to trades.
Yeah,
exactly.
Be more like the NBA.
Exactly. But Cory, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on this trade? What was your reaction to it? Where were you when this happened?
When you said the big trade in the NHL, I thought you were going to say Oliver Bjorkstrand getting traded from Columbus to Seattle, because that was
for a third and a fifth, or
that was the big one this week, baby. But no, it's so funny because I was talking about it with a couple of people before he got traded. Just sort of, where's he going to go? What are they going to do? Their back's kind of against the wall, right? Doesn't have a contract, team control, which is great, but it's like, who's going to go? And everyone and their mother thought the Blues were going to make it work, right? That it was like, they'll find a way, pieces here, Kyrou plus whatever, something to get it done. And I was so surprised that Calgary was like 2 days. Tkachuk's like, I'd like to go somewhere else. They're like, bet. And then 2 days later, they were like, we've got something. It's great. It's like, it's a good trade. Calgary wins this trade this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if Julio and Uyghur re-sign, then Calgary still maybe wins, or at least for a few years, they still win, because those guys are in their prime at least for another 3 or 4 years, ideally. But if both guys walk, fuck, that future first round pick is all you end up with. And Cole Schwint.
Now, Calgary, if they win a cup this year and they walk, worth it.
Yeah. You can win a cup and
depends
be a
what they
franchise for 10 years.
Yeah, it depends what they do this year with like their season and just in general. Like they don't have to have like a season like they did last year. Like they don't have to have a line combining for over 300 points like last year. But if they have like, they're a not like first or second in the Pacific, or at least not a wild card team, it'll be top 3 in your division, and you win a couple rounds, then like it's getting to the point where it might have been worth it, and depending on how you get out of the playoffs. Like,
I think unless you get to the cup final, and if both guys walk and you didn't get to the cup final this year, huge loss. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
If they get towards the trade deadline, much like our Vancouver Canucks, if those guys aren't signed by the time you get to the trade deadline, and Calgary's in a different boat because they're a team that's looking to be like, we would like to win the cup this year. We're good enough. That they're D now. Are you kidding me? So deep, so good.
They have 2 of the top 5 like defensive defensemen in the league, in Uyghur and Tanev. Right.
Anderson, great. Kylington coming along very nicely. Hanifin, also very good. Zadorov, not bad as your number 6 defenseman. Are you kidding
And they
me?
got rid of Goodbranson.
Yeah, and they got rid of Goody. And they have, what's his name? Valimaki, I think. It's a young kid who's like early 20s, who also looks like he's pretty good. It's like, it's just insane. Markstrom is a top 10 goalie, right? And it's like, just I think they learned their lesson that we need to give him a bit more of a break in the regular season, shave 15 games off of his schedule to give him time to stay fresh, because playoffs hit and the guy couldn't save. He was moving through molasses, right? It was just like sad to watch. But yeah, if they don't have those guys signed and it comes to the trade deadline and they're in a position, they're first or second in the Pacific and they're poised to go on a deep run, what do? You're Brad Treliving and you're like, fuck, right? It's like, you have to go for it. And you're just praying that at least one of them, if one walks and one signs, you're like, okay, I can, right? If Huberdeau stays and Uyghur walks, you're like, okay, we can at least, make it work. Huberdeau still had 103 points last year, right? He's still an all-star player. So even if you can get him to stay, or Uyghur, but it's just, man, not an enviable. If Christmas comes around, that after holiday signing freeze is over, and you're like, you don't have those guys signed to new contracts. What are you going to do? Yeah. Because if you keep them, which they would have to do, you go on a run and it's like you bust, both guys walk. At that point, you look at Cory and you're like, I guess you have to tear it down now. Yeah. Right. You have this year. And if they don't sign, you're like, it's trade Tanev, you trade Toffoli, you're trading Zadorov's gone. You're going to trade probably another one. Kylington and Hannafin and Anderson, one of them gets traded, right? Like, it's just like,
what do you do for
everything apart.
Markstrom? Because you signed to try and be competitive, but if you sign on the last half of your deal, you're part of a rebuild.
If I'm Calgary, I'd probably trade him also.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if neither guy signs, you're just like, okay, let's tear it down to the studs. We'll be bad for a few years, and we'll go the rebuild route with a bunch of picks that you'll get second and first round picks for those kinds of guys, plus good like top end prospects, or at least like high B prospects, right? In packages, depending on when the cap goes up and how much it goes up. But yeah. And for Florida, you're like, we just picked up a 24-year-old.
Yeah, 24-year-old coming off a
unicorn
42 goal,
player,
104-point season who can.
There's nobody in the league like him.
Yeah.
So it's like, for Florida, it's a no-brainer, especially for a team that got rolled in the second round, right? Where you're like, we needed it so bad. So it's like, here's some grit and sandpaper that can also score and put up points. So I like it for Florida a lot.
Yeah. Hayden, what was your thoughts on the trade?
Well, it happened on Saturday, and we were all doing something, and I was just like not even paying attention to my phone like that much, right? And then it really came out, and I was like, holy shit. And then I saw that he went to the Panthers, and I'm like, oh god, what did the Panthers give up for him? And seeing that they gave up Uyghur was like the kind of the big one, because I know Calgary has a lot of depth at their D, so now this just adds more to it. And it's like everything what Cory said, if they don't do anything this year, if they don't re-sign them, they're fucked.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the Panthers are the clear winner from this trade, mostly because there's so much risk with Calgary. Like, they just lost Gaudreau and Tkachuk. Like, that is a heartbreaker. So what's going to happen with the forwards? I'm sure Calgary will be fine, but you definitely won't have two of your stars in the building. So it's going to be a little bit awkward, but I think the Panthers are realizing that they're also in contention, and they have to do something too now. So it's going to be exciting for both teams.
Yeah, because I totally agree with you, Hayden, because when this trade came out, nothing but holy Calgary fleece, holy Florida L, what is Florida doing, all that. And I'm like, I don't think everyone in these comments are really diving into this. They're just looking at the names on the paper and who's going to what team. And like the group chat I'm in with the summer league hockey team I was playing on, like the beer league team, like they were all saying like Florida is dumb, like they're idiots, like what are they doing? I'm like, I don't know if you guys are taking this into account, but Calgary could be in the exact same situation next year that they were in this year, trying to keep two $6+ million players. Like they have to deal with, they have $9 million in cap space and still have to sign Mangiapane, and now they have to try and re-sign Huberdeau and Uyghur.
Yeah,
like they could be in the same exact situation next year, except both of them are UFAs instead of just one of them.
Yeah.
Whereas now Florida gets a young franchise player.
Oh, he's definitely the franchise.
Who just came off of 42 goal season and over 104 points. Mm-hmm. And this kid rebutted, and he said that Brady Tkachuk is better because Matthew Tkachuk built off of Gaudreau. And then I also said Gaudreau could also have built off of Tkachuk because they kind of helped each other in both ways. Like Tkachuk can still finish and has every intangible that a coach wants. And I just I think Florida wins this in the long run, just because, like you said, Hayden, Calgary's they're really rolling the dice with this.
They are,
because they don't know if they're going to be able to keep both of them. And I mean, if you're Huberdeau and Uyghur, obviously play style, system style, environment, culture, all that matters. But I mean, your first reaction going from Florida to Calgary on a 1-year deal, your first instinct isn't necessarily going to be like, oh yeah, I want to play here for 8 more years. Like that's not going to be your first instinct. So it's going to be interesting to see how Calgary handles the extensions for these guys and on which player they target first, or if they try and move some weight out and bring both back. But like Cory said, those contracts aren't going to look good in the next 4 years. So
yeah, you went about 4 years.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years.
Oh, sorry, Cory.
No, I was just saying those contracts. If they can re-sign those two guys, right? Those are good contracts for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
It's the last 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it'll probably have to be a contract where you kind of mid-load it maybe, or because I don't know if they can afford to front load it because of their cap space. So maybe just like shed a couple mil the first couple of years, load it up in the middle, like the 3 to 6 years, and then kind of tail it off in the end so that it's not as bad. But
for hockey though, it doesn't matter. That only matters for the purpose of like a buyout.
Yeah.
If you have to buy a contract out, right? So it's like
that's what I'm saying. If like Huberdeau's 30 and they sign him to a 7-8 year deal and he's 37, be like, hey, you're not that good anymore. We're gonna buy out the last couple of years. They don't want to have a $7 million tag to them with 2 years left. So if they just kind of
early, front load that deal, pay him out with a bunch of bonuses first.
Yeah, exactly. So then if it does
try and incrementally slow that down.
Exactly. So if it does
$2 million at the end of that contract,
if it does come down to a buyout, then they're
most of it's paid out.
Yeah, they're not getting hit as much.
I would just quickly, I don't know who your friend is that said Brady Tkachuk's better than Matthew Tkachuk.
I don't even know the kid. He's just in the
what
group
an asshole. Like, I'm sorry, does Brady Tkachuk not play with Tim Stützle and Drake Batherson and like a bunch of really good young players in Ottawa? Matt's 2 years older and he had 107, I think, points, 104 points this year.
Yeah.
40 plus goals, more than 60 assists. You're like, what are you talking about? Do you know how many points Brady Tkachuk had this year? 67. Fuck you.
He said that was elite at 22 years old too. He was like 67.
That's like the same season Tkachuk put up 2 years ago.
I know.
Matthew.
I know.
Like,
he said 67 points in 76 games. Like that's crazy numbers for a 22-year-old. I'm like, is it though? Like, is it that crazy?
Yeah, not anymore.
So no, I was baffled when he said Brady's better. I'm like, I'm not saying Brady's a bad player.
Great.
I'm just taking Matt over Brady.
And so would everybody in their right mind.
Everybody
in a heartbeat.
I'll take the guy who's already putting up over 100 points. Thank you very much.
And who's just way more skilled and just as physical. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Seems more sure of a player to take the
guy a bum.
A little bit better.
I also think Calgary might trade one of these defensemen for a forward if they can. They're 7 guys deep, like 7 legitimate NHL defensemen deep. And
do you think they maybe flip Uyghur?
No, because I think he's something they were missing. He's a top pairing guy.
Would you? Right? Yeah. Okay. No, you carry on. It's disrespectful of me to interrupt
you. I was just gonna say, Uyghur's like a top pairing defenseman.
Yeah.
He's their best defenseman now.
No.
Right. 100%.
We're like,
unless like his play falls off a cliff or something. But you've got Anderson, Hannafin, and Kylington are all 25 years old. Zadorov's 27, Uyghur's 28, Tanev's 32. So like no one is like, that's not an old D-line. They're all in their prime. The 3 guys that are 25, you're like, they might not even like hit their prime yet. Defenseman, that's that thing, right? Always a little later.
Yeah,
but
they're weird.
Right. If you're Calgary, do you look at a Kyling, like a Hannafin, and you're like, okay, we don't necessarily need the offense, or Anderson, one of those two. And you're like, I think we can trade you for like a legit top 6 guy. And then you get to replace Gaudreau a little bit in your lineup because you're missing that hole, right? You've like, okay, we replaced Tkachuk with really, you replaced Gaudreau with Huberdeau.
Yeah.
Right. That's Tkachuk. Kind of the same kind of guy. It's like, you're not going to find a Tkachuk. You're not going to get that player back, but you might be able to get a legitimate top 6 piece. Otherwise they might have to play like, I don't know, Lucic. It's not a guy you want in your top 6.
No, not at all. No.
Anyways, that was a thought I had.
I thought they were gonna in my free agent predictions because I thought Goudreau was going to Newark, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought they would sign Andre Palat.
Oh, yeah.
But Andre Palat went to the team that I thought Goudreau was going to. So
can't believe Philly fucked up so bad that they didn't have the cap space to
I think it was
sign
Johnny
Rockets.
Right choice to not sign them. They're nowhere near winning.
But look at the guys they brought in, and you're like, why did you spend all that money on the other guys?
Philly doesn't make sense. They're doing things that they shouldn't be doing. So
it's like you could have brought your home, like the hometown kid in, and like Philly says they want to compete or at least be competitive, and you're like, well, no. Instead, we threw all this money to Tony D'Angelo, the biggest piece of shit in the league. We want him for 5.5 plus the other guy they signed, but I can't. Some other like defenseman who's not great. He's like threw all that money. A good Branson-esque deal. And you're like, okay, sure. You could have just signed an elite goal scorer for your stupid team, but whatever. Don't sign the kid who really wanted to come play at home.
Playing at home with his best friend. What could go wrong? He'd be really upset coming to your team.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Philly
is a blue jacket.
Philly does a lot of things that doesn't make sense. There's a couple other signings. Speaking of the Devils, I'm definitely going to butcher this name. And I'll be completely honest. I don't know who this guy is, but they signed Siegenthaler to a 5-year, $17 million deal.
Jonas Siegenthaler?
And Edmonton re-signed Jesse Puljujärvi to a 1-year, $3 million deal, avoiding arbitration.
I didn't know about the Puljujärvi one. That's fun.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on those deals, boys?
You want to take it first there, Hades?
Kind of like what Jeff said. Didn't even know who the guy was.
Yeah, I didn't.
These seem just like kind of like depth piece signings, which is kind of what you expect after the first couple weeks of free agency, and then it's probably going to be like every other league. When's some veterans who still haven't signed with any teams are just going to. But yeah, no, it was from what I thought, pretty standard average signing.
Yeah.
What about you, Cory?
I think Siegenthaler had some pretty good like underlying numbers defensively. Oh, he's a defenseman. He's 25, right? So it's like pretty decent deal for him. Yeah, he's not an exciting player. You're not. Neither of you is missing a lot for that. Yeah, the Puljujärvi one I think is more fun. Just a 1-year deal. The kid, I think he's 4th overall to the Oilers, right? Never materialized into what they thought he was going to be. Again, a guy that puts up his underlying numbers are good. He makes his line mates better. People just expect well, you're playing with Connor McDavid. How come you can't get 100 points? Which in its own right is kind of fair. But also, I mean, outside of Draisaitl, who throws up a ton of points playing with McDavid? Has anyone gone and lit it up beside him? Kane, but Kane was already an elite level kind of goal scorer.
Throw some respect on Cassian's name, god damn it.
That's true. They made him look like he was an NHL player.
Yeah.
But even he had one good season, and then that was kind of it. It's just mediocre.
Yeah.
Still, right? Kyler Yamamoto, who put up some decent numbers, but no one's lighting the lamp. I was really hoping, and I'm glad it's a 1-year deal because I think that might let Puljujärvi walk next year into free agency.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe he'll do better in a different atmosphere. Edmonton Draisaitl and McDavid were can't miss prospects, right? No one can fuck those guys up. They jumped in the league right away and they were yeah, I'm better than everybody. It's fine. But what other prospects has Edmonton not ruined? Think of all those picks they've had. They've picked inside the top 10, I don't know, 100 times in the last 10 years.
Because they're stubborn and they think if you're a top 5 pick, you're league ready right away.
And they just throw them in. Either they have poor scouting and they have poor development. And a mix of that is how has Edmonton not been in a Stanley Cup final yet? You have the best player on the planet, hands down, right?
And
you have the
top 5,
right? You can't rank Draisaitl worse than 5th, probably. It's you have two of the very best forwards in the league. It's like, we can get to the second round though. You're like, that's garbage. You're a garbage franchise. It's embarrassing. So I hope that, Puljujarvi walks next year, and it's another player that Edmonton has screwed up and ruined, and they will continue to flail helplessly into the second round. Because again, who's the goalie they signed? Who did they bring in?
Jack Campbell.
Jack Campbell. It's like, well, Jack Campbell couldn't really get it done in Toronto. Well, we'll see how he does at Edmonton. At least it's better than Mike Smith. Your defense is still trash, though. It's like,
that's the thing is, like when I was talking with Hayden and Matt last week, they went to the Western Conference Finals with the lowest amount of stability in net, and Jack Campbell improves that by maybe 25 to 50% at least. So I think, and they kind of they're gonna have a healthy Nurse who was playing with a torn hip flexor all postseason, and they brought back probably their best defensive defenseman in Kulak, who was one of the more underrated trade deadline acquisitions. But he's not going to impress you offensively, but he's not really going to
do his job, guy.
He's not going to fuck up as much.
He's like a Willie Mitchell-esque. Exactly. If you don't say his name, it's because he's doing his job.
Exactly. So I think Edmonton they were like a winner of the offseason. They didn't necessarily they brought back a player who was on pace for 42 goals and Kane. Mind you, playing with McDavid.
We'll see what happens with him in a full year.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, I shout out to Michael Bartner, who is a recurring guest on the show. But he is pretty avid on his Instagram stories. And he brought up an interesting 1-for-1 trade for Jesse Puljujarvi. And that was a Puljujarvi for Capo Caco. And he was just like two top 5 picks who just need to change the scenery and haven't played up to their draft status. So maybe Caco gets a light lit up under his ass, and he plays much better in Edmonton to his second overall potential, and Puljujarvi maybe goes to a more well-rounded offensive scheme where he can kind of fit in on a third line where he belongs, instead of trying to force him to produce on a second line role. So shout out to Michael Bartner for that one. But what do you think of that hypothetical situation?
I get it, right? You're like, there's two guys. Kako, I look at him like, I'd want more if I was the Rangers. Just because you're like, he's younger. It takes a little bit of time to acclimate to the league, right? Especially when you get the guys who come from overseas, right? It's a different style of game that they play. But I get the thought behind it, kind of, not because they're not project players. They both are like guys who have made the NHL and can play and shown that they can play. Capo looked pretty good in some of those playoff games with the Rangers. I know he got scratched at the end, but it was a weird scratch.
It was random.
I was like, we need this. And you're like, I don't think that's was the problem. I don't think the kid line was what was slowing you down.
Yeah. We're trying to win a game. Well, maybe.
I think Edmonton wins that trade in a 1-for-1.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I just based on potential alone.
Yeah. Puljujarvi, I think at this point you get what you get. If he goes somewhere else and maybe it's a better fit, maybe he puts up 50 to 60 points instead of like 40 to 50 points. You know what I mean? Like, there could be a bump, but I don't think he would go somewhere else and like flourish and be like, look at me. I just needed to escape Edmonton, Alberta.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. San Jose Sharks hired David Quinn as head coach. I think second time coaches always kind of do a little bit better than the first time around. If you look at Dallas Eakins for Toronto, he kind of like shat the bed there, went back to junior, came back in Anaheim, and he's doing a little bit better. Quinn went back to BC, I think, or college at least. And I don't think his expectations are high with San Jose, because San Jose is like one of the worst teams in the league. But I mean, he got another shake at the NHL level. The LA Kings are to retire Dustin Brown's number 23, and a statue outside of crypto.com arena is coming for Dustin Brown.
Crypto.com arena.
So
Put a
dumb.
fucking gun to my head.
Yeah, so dumb.
Bang, bang, bang.
Staples Center was
It will always be the Staples Center.
It'll always be the
Right?
Staples Center.
I get
yeah.
for cash, but like there's just some stadiums.
Like Heinz
Just
Field.
don't change it.
Yeah, Heinz Field just
like what the fuck, man?
Garbage. Yeah, you know what? As a quick sidebar, that's why my sweet, sweet team will never change. Publicly owned, the Green Bay Packers, Lambeau Field forever. It'll never change.
Yeah. What's Arrowhead now? It's something at Arrowhead.
Something dumb.
I don't even know. It's not even just Arrowhead.
It's a product at Arrowhead.
Yeah. It's such a joke.
Citibank at Arrowhead. Some
or
bullshit like that.
Like the Superdome is now it's still the Superdome, but it's not the Mercedes-Benz Superdome because they're in Atlanta. So now it's the Caesars Superdome.
Ooh.
And
like Little Caesars?
Well, fuck, it was so funny because I saw, sorry to get like sidetracked here, but like Caesar's Palace.
Less cool, but okay.
Well, then marketing technique. People were trying to put in a petition for Little Caesars to buy the New Orleans Pelicans arena and make it Little Caesars because it's littler. And I'm like, that's a great marketing idea right there. Like, why has Little Caesars show up on this?
You know why they won't? And it's because we were talking about this just now, and I'm like, my brain like clicked. The Detroit Red Wings play in Little Caesars arena.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess they could market it and be like, fuck it, we have two.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Call this one Hot and Ready Arena.
I mean, like, I'd be so down to change Little Caesars Arena back to Joe Louis because that was one of the best arena names in the NHL. And
at least now it's named after pizza, so that's fun.
Yeah, I know, but like
I want arenas only named after food. No crypto, no banks.
Papa
no
Leo's
cars,
Pizza
nothing.
Arena in Vancouver.
Right?
Let's go, baby.
Welcome to Baskin Robbins Arena.
Yeah, I don't know if Dustin Brown necessarily is deserving of a statue.
Weird. Like, if you're gonna put up a statue of someone, I get it. Like, he was your captain. You won 3 cups, I think.
2
with him. Is it just 2?
Yeah.
Did it go Chicago, LA, Chicago, LA, Chicago, right? Yeah. Okay. I always mix them. But so I get like 2 cups. 2 cups, not a dynasty. No. Great team. That Kings team was great for a chunk of years there. But I mean, Dustin Brown with his pouty little lips wasn't a guy who, you know what I mean? Like, he's not Steve Yzerman.
Yeah.
Like a statue of Kopitar. Like, the guy who won you those cups, or Doughty. You know what I mean?
That's
like a guy who
Drew Doughty,
like carried you to cup, or even fucking Jonathan Quick.
Yeah.
Is better
Jonathan
than that.
Quick carried them to one of the cups.
Yeah, he was the best goalie like in the league for a couple of years. You're like, damn, he's top 5 every year.
Yeah, because weren't they like the 8th seed or something like that?
Yeah, and I think as the 8th seed, they lost like 2 games or like 3
Isn't
games.
that when they whomped the Canucks?
Yeah, they beat them in 5, swept the next 2, lost in 5, and then won in 5 and then 1 in 5 or something.
Yeah,
like they absolutely mollywopped. That was playoffs. They got so hammered because they swept 2 series in a row.
Mm-hmm.
It was they were a joke.
Yeah, but good for Dustin Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like a statue of me somewhere. So
imagine
if anyone gets one.
It's gonna be so weird seeing like Kobe, Gretzky, Dustin Brown.
They don't have a statue of Gretzky, do they, in LA?
Oh no,
that's weird if they do.
Yeah, if they did. Yeah, that's weird.
Here's a guy who played a little bit.
Hey, he played 3 seasons here.
Yeah.
Statue.
It's just Kobe and Dustin Brown shaking hands. It's a new statue they're putting up.
It's doing it dirty to Kobe.
With Matt Stafford just in the background.
And Sean McVay.
Yeah.
The whole Rams team, actually.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp. He's 4'9".
But we're gonna kind of shift gears here. Hockey Canada.
Ugh.
Apparently they knew about the sexual assault allegations in 2018, but didn't feel to bring it up to the government. And then police have also opened sexual assault investigations, or opened an investigation to sexual assault allegations back in 2003.
I wonder how many other teams also did this kind of bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it was just 03 and 18? Come on now.
Wah, wah. Yeah, no, it wasn't just those two teams. If they're reeling back the clock 18 years or 19
just
years,
takes one person to come forward, right?
Yeah.
And like, you know what? I was ashamed to say it, or I was scared or whatever, right?
I didn't know
Especially
the backlash I'd get.
Right.
Yeah.
And especially look like even now people still get tons of flack and people don't believe victims and all that shit. And it's 2022 and we're a little more progressive than we were 5, 10, 15. Like, so just imagine like 03, they're like 20 years ago. You're like, it's even harder to come out then. So it's like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's fucking wild and insane that the chair, the Hockey Canada chair, Craig Smith, something Smith, I can't remember his name now, it still has a job.
Yeah.
You're like, how, like they've come out and said that they had a slush fund of money to pay for things like this. They didn't say it was specifically for, sexual assault, but like things like this that wasn't covered in our insurance. Like, so everyone kind of knew that stuff like this would happen and you guys just kept sweeping it under the rug, and it's like, fuck you.
Oh, you can't come out and say that, oh, we're financially prepared for these. Like that that's so not
bad.
Boys, am I right?
Yeah, you're not helping your case, bud.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're financially prepared for this. Okay, so
Why?
you did it. Yeah, why are you prepared for something like this? This is supposed to come as a surprise.
Like, this woman was paid a settlement. It's like
under the rug.
It happened.
Yeah,
right.
It was paid. It was a settlement that was swept under the rug, and then now you're coming out and taking charge as this shouldn't happen.
Now we're gonna make some changes.
Yeah, this shouldn't happen.
The changes would be clearing house.
Yeah, shut up.
No, what a joke.
Yeah.
And you know what? The juniors are coming up in August, right? In Edmonton, I think.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about this tournament. Like, I don't know how anyone could cheer on. And it's like, I know it's a new batch of kids and they didn't do it. It's like, so it shouldn't fall on them. But the fact that Hockey Canada is just like, we're just going full steam, doesn't matter if we can make this go away by the time the juniors start, right? And it's just, it makes your skin crawl, and it's so disappointing. And I know that you shouldn't put athletes on pedestals or especially corporations, right? A large corporation, evil, right? No matter, we put a maple leaf on front of the jersey though. So, it fills me with national pride. Fuck you and fuck them and fuck all these assholes who let this shit go on and just like sweep it under the rug. When that shit came out in Chicago, with Kyle Beach, and you're like, oh, we're committed to making change. The change would be that you all get fired and that the NHL holds you accountable and says anybody who was involved in this team is gone and no longer is represented with the NHL in any fashion. But did they do it? No. The Wirtz brothers get to just be like, oh, we're making changes. And then someone asks them a question at a press conference and they're like, we're not talking about it. Like, great. I'm sure a lot of real changes are being made in your organization. Hockey Canada, same fucking thing. We're going to make some real changes. Clear fucking house. How hard is that? It's a government run, like, it's like the government. So it's like, I hope donors don't give any money. I hope sponsors pull out forever until everyone is fired, because I don't know. Just, it's a bummer. It's what it is.
With that Kyle Beach thing, it's like, oh, you're committed to making changes, but you didn't seem to have that mindset when it was brought up to you like 8 years ago during the Stanley Cup.
When this guy's life was ruined.
Yeah. When it was brought up to, and all your staff said, we don't have time for this right now.
I told the guy above me, isn't that all I needed to do?
Like, it's nothing. It's so unbelievably, like, just insane to me how this isn't, none of these situations have been handled better. Like, it's just, it's
same thing over and over again. It's Groundhog Day, just a different, slap a different sweater on it, a team, an organization. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Yeah, it's sad.
I mean, like, sticking under the same umbrella, former Canuck Jake Virtanen was found not guilty of sexual assault back in 2017. But I mean, not guilty isn't necessarily the same as innocent.
Yeah,
But
not guilty doesn't really mean you
yeah.
didn't do it. It
Yeah.
just means that
The jury, like when you bring things up to the jury, just a matter of what evidence is brought forward, how much they got right in front of them, because they can't make assumptions. They're not allowed to go into social media themselves. They just have to deal with the evidence at hand. So not guilty doesn't necessarily mean innocent, but I want to follow along with this to see where this goes, because the girl who made the allegations wasn't present for the verdict. So I don't know if that means anything. I don't know if she's took time off somewhere and like couldn't get back in time. I don't know what the situation is with that, but I don't know if that plays into either her false allegations or whatever. But yeah, I'll it's gonna be interesting with how our boy Jakey does with this situation. But a lot of people are saying like there's a reason why the Canucks let him go because of this. Like, why would they let him go when false allegations were brought to them? And it's like, well, they didn't let him go just because of this. He just sucked as a hockey player, so we bought
if he
him
was
out.
putting up 50 goals a season, they wouldn't have bought him out. They'd have suspended him indefinitely until the pending investigation was put forward, and then he would have been found not guilty, and they would have said, we support him, and he was found not guilty, and that's our guy, and we're gonna get going, and we're gonna dump pucks deep, and we're gonna chase the shit out of it. Yeah, and it's just, we're gonna win the third.
We're gonna dump pucks in on a 2-on-1.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a bummer because I wasn't there. I don't know, but at the same time, why would someone say he did it? If it wasn't like, it's not there was no evidence of anything. Apparently that was like a scorned lover who's like, I'll get back at you.
Yeah. And
it's like, she's remained anonymous through this whole thing. It goes to court. Like it's this whole thing. And it's
all he said, she said right now.
And that's why I knew they were going to find him not guilty because there's no evidence, right? Like there was no, as far as I know, right? I wasn't there, but there's no smoking gun of like, see, did it. It's like, he says he did not do it. She says, yes, you did. She says this happened. He says, that's not how I think it happened. She says, I didn't consent. He goes, I'm pretty sure she consented and was enthusiastic the whole time. It's like, of course. So I get the not guilty verdict. I would have to imagine if I was in that jury presented with just that kind of stuff, it's like, I get why someone would say not guilty, because unfortunately you need the burden of physical proof of like facts that you can be like, yeah, point to that, guilty. I still think he probably did it. But what are you going to do? This is why women don't come forward with things, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody believes them. And now this woman just gets like, luckily her
especially with
anonymity
athletes
has been kept. Like the identity has not come out. It hasn't been leaked. I have no idea who this woman is. And I hope it gets to stay that way for her, because I can't like, unless she chooses to come public and be like, no, this is who I am. Fuck you. But the, internet's a piece of shit garbage hole, and people are ruthless and anonymous and say terrible things. And I choose to believe the hockey players. It's like, Jeff, you play hockey. I'm not saying all hockey players are dirtbags by no means, but I think we've all known enough guys and have seen enough news to know that the culture in that sport, and in a lot of organized sports, but it's really in Canada in hockey, garbage.
Yeah.
Right.
Athletes in
rookie
general,
hazing, rookie parties, how they treat women, how they talk about women, terrible. And it's just like the average thing. So it's like, for anyone to be like, no, I don't think you did it. You're like, why would you not think he did it?
Yeah.
These kids who come from generally affluent white backgrounds where everything's been handed to them on a fucking silver platter because they could shoot a rubber puck into a net, and all mistakes get swept under the rug your whole life. It's like, you can do no wrong. People treat you like a god. And it's like, so yeah, I believe the woman in this case. I believe the woman who is calling out the 2018 team, the 03 team, all true. Look at every sport. It's always true.
Yeah.
Is there times when someone is lying and makes something up? Of course. But I don't think any of these are those times.
Yeah, it's hard to make assumptions just because there has been situations where, like Sean Oakman, for example, he got his NFL career stripped away from him because of false allegations, and now it's like that's not helping their case at all either, right? So it's like you can say like he probably did it, but it's like you could have said the same thing about Oakman back then, and she literally came back and said, yeah, I made those up. And he was a 28-year-old ex, like in jail for 5 years for something he didn't do, and now he's just has to figure out life now.
After.
Well, he's in the CFL right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he plays I think he plays for the Rough Riders, I want to say.
Okay, well, I'm glad he got a shot somewhere, but like he was supposed to be a highly touted NFL prospect, and then like he got that stripped away from him. So now it's like false allegations happen, but also those allegations are true. So it's like
I would look at it at the rate of like how often does it come out that they were lying?
The percentages, how often does
it come out that it was true? And you're like, oof, way more in the true side.
Yeah, the percentages obviously are like heavily favored on the allegations are true, but there's always that, if there's ever that percent chance that false allegations have come forward, I've never tried to like assume anything, because sometimes what if she does have something against Vertanen and she found one weird thing like in his attitude that night and was like, I can use this against him, like he like whatever, like, but also Vertanen could be a total dirtbag and being like, no, she enjoyed it, but it's like, no, you
you're a piece of garbage. Like, who knows? I don't know.
Exactly.
It's just sad.
Yeah, it is sad, and we hate seeing this in the sports world. But let's move over to the NFL, because Zach Wilson, does he got that dog? I
don't want to make the joke.
He's got that dog in him.
He's a handsome kid. He's Stifler from American Pie. He's just out there. I mean, if I was a player's mom, I'd want to sleep with him too.
He wasn't on the Cougars for another reason.
Yeah. You're just going to be watching like any season, any episode of like The Real Housewives of blank, and he'll just be in the background, just walking through, and you're like, what's he? Is that Zach Wilson?
Yeah.
It's like Atlanta, LA, New York. It doesn't matter. He's in all of it.
He's not looking to buy a house.
No, he's looking to play house.
Yeah.
So funny. I like how, he was probably prepared for like such a backlash, and everyone's like, nah, man, that's hilarious. Good for you.
Did you see what CJ Uzama showed up in today for like commentary? He showed up in a shirt that says that has a picture of Zach Wilson, and it says Man of the Year. Dude,
like, so for anyone who doesn't know, which I'm sure like everyone has to know, but for anyone who doesn't know, Zach Wilson's ex-girlfriend, who was with him on draft night, so if you ever need a reference on what she looks like, just go back to when Zach Wilson was drafted. She was in a picture with Zach Wilson's ex-roommate, BYU teammate, wide receiver, and now current Commanders wide receiver. Don't know his name, but that doesn't matter. And then someone commented on her photo saying homie hopper. And then she comes back to say, Zach's the real homie hopper. She slept with his mom's best friends.
Dude.
Zach Wilson, he looks like a Disney star, but that guy is pimping.
Obviously.
I can't believe
if you're handsome and a quarterback,
just because of
for
like
a New York
market
story
coming out, his MVP odds actually jumped up too.
Oh my god! Of course they did.
Most valuable penis, yeah.
Most valuable penis. But man, this story is gonna run forever. It's never ending.
Dude, people in Iowa are fucking.
I thought there's more to that sentence, but you just stopped it.
That's all there is to do in Iowa.
That's it.
That's all there is to do.
Religion there and
corn and fucking. That's it. And you can combine
religion,
combine
corn,
both.
and fucking.
And you can combine all
not
three.
necessarily in that order.
Oh man, but Zach Wilson, he has to play phenomenally better this year, right? He has to.
Oh, he's feeling loose.
And I
draft him 18th.
He's gonna have all that tension off of his back.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's just, and everything isn't like, nothing's his fault.
No.
Clear interception. It's on the offensive scheme. Wide receiver didn't run the right route.
He's perfect.
Nothing.
I'm picking him number 1 overall in every pool.
Yeah. I'm a Pats fan, but I am a Zach Wilson guy.
When I grew up, I wanted Zach Wilson. Honestly, the kid might have himself a decent year this year also. So
yeah, no, before this came out,
Zach.
Yeah, before this news came out and everything, I was like, Zach Wilson is like projected to have a much better year. He has better weapons, better offense, second-year quarterback, was played good the last half of the year. And then this came out, and now I'm all in.
Yeah.
All in.
George is gonna be like, babe, where's your TFSA, RRSP, savings account, check-ins account? You have literally no money. Put it on Zach Wilson MVP odds, baby. It's happening. We're gonna be rich.
True.
It's gonna be rich. I waited for that one bet to make. And this is it.
This is it.
This is
Dave,
it.
why would you put all your money? This guy fucks.
Oh god, that was amazing. But another smaller quarterback, shiftier quarterback, Kyler Murray signs a 5-year, $230.5 million contract,
with the NFL's first homework
guarantee.
clause.
Dude, that homework clause, man. This just proves to me why I think Kyler Murray is just such a fucking overrated quarterback.
I mean, he might not be anymore though, now that he's forced to study film.
Oh my god, like I don't know what the gauge is on this guy. Like he just, I don't know. There's something about him that I just don't like. I don't like how he plays. I don't like just his style. It's just all that money, 160 million guaranteed. Arizona, I think you've locked up mediocrity for the next 5 years, in my opinion.
I'm gonna disagree with that. I think he's better than mediocrity. I don't think his leadership and leadership skills are necessarily up there. Like, I don't think he necessarily carries himself well off the field, but I like his play. It's just a matter of his health. Like, he was an MVP for the first 3 quarters of the season, and then he got hurt.
We all know someone like that, and his name's Russell Wilson. And yeah, he has won Super Bowl, but how far can Arizona really take him? I don't know. It's just he doesn't stand out to me as someone, like you said, his leadership skills. I wouldn't run through a wall for him, and to be his teammate, I don't know.
Yeah, Kyler Murray seems like he's a bit of a toolbox. You know what? That's fine. You don't have to be the guy everybody loves to be successful. He has, I think we can all agree, the kid's got a ton of talent, right? Yeah. Like, oozes out of him. He can, especially when a play breaks down and he's playing street ball, and you're like, look at him go.
He's
he can run, he can make those throws.
Talented
creative
players in the league.
Pure talent, right? Pure ability to throw a football and to run around with a football. He's got it in spades. But up here, he said himself that he thinks he's too good that he doesn't need to study, that he doesn't need to prepare as well. It's well, that's not you'll true. Never be good. Yeah. You will, because you can't just rely on those physical traits forever. So that's why I'm interested to see,
step.
Right? Kyler Murray has a chance now with this new contract that he has to now do this. Otherwise it's void to, right? If this is what forces him to sit down and take it seriously, then yeah, you never know, right? You look, Russell Wilson, same style, same small kind of style, especially when he was younger, could run around and do all those things. But Russell knew the playbook. Russell knew the other team's defenses, right? Mm-hmm. Russell Wilson is a great quarterback. He's been one of the best quarterbacks in the league for the last decade. Mm-hmm. And, he goes to another team now where you're like, ooh, the defense is playing well and you have a good run game and good weapons, where it's he hasn't really had all three in Seattle for some time. So, I mean, Kyler Murray, you look at a guy like that and you go, great fantasy football quarterback. But is he a guy that's, will he win a Super Bowl right now? No, I agree with you, Hayden. He's not a guy that I would look at and be like, yep, future of my franchise right there. That kid is going to take us all the way. But with this new contract, so funny, so interesting, one of a kind deal. How do you enforce that? Does someone sit there with him and audit 4 hours a day?
Surely, like, there has to be someone who,
because you're not honor systeming this thing.
There has to be like a Jamarcus Russell type thing where they give him a blank tape and they're like, hey, what did you study last night? And he's gonna say like, oh, nickel defenses or something like that, and then be like,
the tape was empty.
Yeah, the tape was empty, you idiot. Yeah, you're lying.
Messed it again.
So it's probably gonna have to be something
Third
like
time
that
this week, Jamarcus.
Like they know what tape they give him, and it's like, okay, like
I think it'll be someone sitting there in the film room with him, like one of the coaches.
Either that, or they literally need to install like lockdown browser on his Mac or something.
Yeah,
like the thing they use for testing, and be like, yeah, you literally can't do anything, and we will make sure that if you move out of the camera, it's detected. Like,
yeah,
there has to be something that just.
I can't wait to find out what it is. It'll leak, right?
Oh, it will.
Like he's got a tutor for the playbook or something, like watching the team that week, like watch them play a couple games. I don't know.
It's him and Cliff just fucking in the room together. Cliff's like on his phone.
Yeah.
Tyler's just like, holy fuck this.
Just give me my money.
Where do you rank Kyler amongst starting quarterbacks?
In real football?
Like all encompassing, not on just raw talent, like all encompassing. Where do you rank him amongst starting quarterbacks in the NFL?
16 to 11.
That's a fair range, probably. Yeah. He's not top 10.
No.
I would to win 12 a football game, I'd rather like Kirk Cousins. I would almost rather have, like, in terms of like, I need to win this game. At least the guy, like, I know knows the defense that he's playing against. You know what I mean? Like,
and doesn't just throw up a prayer to D-Hop.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, he's not as talented as Kyler Murray by any stretch of the word, but like,
don't say that about Kirk Cousins quite yet. He threw a punt to your secondary, Hayden, and the free safety just caught it with the closest receiver being like 30 yards away from him. So
Kirk Cousins is like in the decent range of quarterbacks.
No, he's perfectly average.
He is. He's 40 and 2.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like that, honestly,
he played that's Washington for a while.
That's a great like comparison. Like, talent wise, Kyler Murray just fucking.
Kyler Murray's a top 5 quarterback on talent,
yeah, and fantasy stats, yeah. But Kirk Cousins and Kyler Murray, I feel like they almost. I know it sounds stupid, but I feel like they almost level out. Just comparing on like what Kirk does good compared to what Kyler does bad, and what Kyler does bad, Kirk does, or what Kyler does good, Kirk does bad. Like for me, that it kind of evens out.
Like Kyler's talent and skill outweighs his I don't need to study type thing because he just improvises.
Exactly.
But then Kirk's intelligence makes up for I know where I'm throwing this ball before it's snapped.
Kyler Murray somewhere between 14 and 18. This is what I've just realized with a quick glance through the league, like just teams on my phone. I was like, where does he land?
I said 11 to 15.
Yeah. I think we all have the same 12, kind of idea.
Or like 12
of him.
to 15 or something like that.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah. But see how he does. I mean,
we'll see.
He's without D-Hop for 6 games because of PEDs. He has Hollywood Brown coming in, maybe new team, new.
Well, they I don't know if that together too, right?
Yeah,
they're all teammates.
I don't think it's necessarily going to move the needle though.
It's decent.
I think.
No more Christian Kirk.
Yeah, he got the bag in Jacksonville, baby.
Good for him.
Good for him. He's set the market.
Is Larry back or did Larry retire?
I think
he retired.
Like,
I don't think he's made a decision yet. He hasn't made a decision yet.
Oh.
Who knows? They might go on a playoff run, and then Fitz like, all right.
Like a Gronk type.
Full of Gronk. Yeah. Team looks good. I'm in.
Yeah, Gronk has said, I'm staying retired, but
yeah,
we'll see how that goes. I don't know if we've talked about this yet, but Terry McLaurin signs a 3-year, $71 million extension. That was a while ago. Very deserving. He needed that. He needed that money.
I think that was right after the last time we spoke about the NFL.
Yeah.
And like stuff about that after free agents. So
yeah. So I wasn't sure if I had covered it yet. But the Bucks signed 33-year-old Julio Jones, baby, to a 1-year deal. And the Cleveland Browns signed rock star Josh Rosen.
Okay.
Hey, they need a starting quarterback for week 1.
One thing too, the Bucks also signed Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah.
So that also kind of shows where they are with Gronk, and I think Gronk is fully retired. Yeah. Did you guys happen to see Josh Rosen's Twitter account picture?
Yeah.
No.
His profile picture, his draft day with Arizona. His banner is him, his press conference with Miami Dolphins. His bio says Atlanta Falcons quarterback, and he just signed with the Browns.
That is gold. You know what's funny about Josh Rosen is this is a guy that has, like, when he got drafted into Arizona, that was a crap situation, right? Like, who was going to succeed there?
No one.
Nobody was, right? And then Kingsbury comes in like, nah, you're out of here. I want my guy. And you're like, okay. So like never really got a good crack at it. And then goes to Miami. Terrible situation there.
Worse than Arizona's probably.
Right? Yep. And it's like, and then he bumps Atlanta a little bit, but doesn't really get this guy's never really been given, like, he obviously had the talent to go in the draft where he went, and yet everyone was just kind of wrote him off. I'd be like, nah, this kid's a bust. And it's like, is he? Maybe he could, like, put a little work in. Maybe this guy, especially like you go to Cleveland now, he's more than likely going to be their starting quarterback for at least 6 weeks. And I'm not saying that Watson will not take that job back immediately, because of course he will. He's a fucking elite quarterback.
Cleveland gave him $250 million guaranteed. There's no way he sits out a game where he's not allowed to play.
I'm pulling for Josh.
Hey,
I'm pulling
Cory,
for Josh.
You better stop right there, because I brought this up with Josh Rosen, and you said he's never going to be good. And I brought this up.
It's his 4th team, and I'm just hoping he is.
No, 100%. I brought this up too, and I was like, he was never really given a fair shake at the NFL, because he was on the 32nd ranked team, and every single year he was a quarterback.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah. So it's like, no one, like, if you wanted to tank, you signed Josh Rosen. That was the theme.
Let's bring in a quarterback who, honestly, he's never had a shot. He's thrown a terrible receiver.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, he's probably at this point, like, his career's written off. But like, if he went to like a mid-tier like team right on draft day, like, he might have been like half decent
by now, because he maybe wouldn't have started right away.
Like,
how great, like, what a movie script it'll be if this motherfucker comes in and he plays for like the first day. Like, let's say Watson even gets like the year, like, can't play at all this year, right? And Rosen just throws 40 touchdowns,
just big dicks the entire league,
3,800 yards, right? And just it's like, nah, like, screw you guys. I just needed a chance.
Yeah.
But I mean, the bar is low, and we're hoping for mediocre play.
He's like finally going to a situation where he has
a team that's set to win.
Yeah, he has Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. He's Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Njoku, Hooper at tight end. Say what you want about them. Oh, did he go to Tennessee? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But he finally has found.
He can just hand that ball off.
Yeah. Throw screens.
Exactly.
Right.
Anyone can throw a screen.
6-yard slants. Like, you don't have to make it super complicated. And especially it helps with Amari Cooper, because he's like a route runner. So he helps create space so that it makes it harder for Rosen to fuck up.
Yeah, it's less of a guy who's just a deep threat.
It's not like a guy like, hey, throw it up.
Yucking it up.
And if you throw a pick, it's your fault. It's like, no, you told me to do this. I relied on you to catch it, and you didn't.
You said you would be there, Dad.
Yeah. You said you were coming back.
No one came to my T-ball game.
Yeah.
But
But
who knows? I hope so. I hope I'm bummed about Julio Jones. You go with your fun fact.
I have fun. It's a really fun step before we move past. His career record, he's 4-20.
Fire.
It's pretty good.
I don't think he can ever play another game.
No, he's not allowed.
That's
Not
a
allowed.
fucking. I think that's harder to get than 10
Hopefully,
wins.
hopefully he has a playoff record of 6-9 or something.
Oh my god, dude, that'd be so funny.
He goes 6-9 this year.
Yeah, like he would have. Yeah, that would be elite. He would.
Yeah, go on about Julio, Cory.
I was just gonna say I'm bummed. The Packers were in. There was a lot of rumors around that.
Packers never sign receivers.
Yeah, come on.
I know, but because it was an old guy who was like, it was gonna be a
Your
one-year
old guy
deal.
already is Sammy Watkins, okay?
Yeah, but
And
he's hurt.
injured.
he's on the pup list.
Well, you know who else is gonna be hurt? Julio Jones. So fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
True.
He'll be
Yeah.
he'll be walking to the dress. He'll be walking to the locker room week
What
one
a weird. Like
with an ankle injury.
I assume that no other team really pursued him aggressively, and I understand the appeal of wanting to try and win a ring with
Super
Tampa.
Bowl.
So I
Yeah.
get it, but it's like also you are third on the depth chart now. Like
Maybe
Evans is
fourth.
better than you. Godwin is definitely better than you, and it's like okay,
And Tom Brady personally called Russell Gage for him to come over. So
yeah. So it's like is Julio just gonna like? I
Red
mean, it's
zone.
great because you can keep him fresh,
zone.
right? Julio Jones can't catch touchdowns in the red zone.
yeah, that's right. Actually,
That's his whole thing. They're gonna play him between the 20s, and then once they get into the red zone, Gage,
Mike
you're
Evans.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a massive.
Mike Evans just a fade to the corner
Yeah.
every fucking time.
Yeah, he was a massive 1,700 yards, 5 touchdowns or something, or
Yeah, something
like-
crazy. His touchdowns only came off of 15 plus yard.
or that
touchdowns.
one random screen against what was it, San Francisco or something, at the buzzer where
booked it.
yeah, he ran 60 yard
Yeah.
screen.
No one's more snake
Or-
bit than
that-
Julio Jones in the red zone.
Yeah.
That one other catch that he had against your Patriots, Jeff, when he ripped it out of Butler's hands.
Oh, it's such a good play by Butler, but then Julio just alphaed him.
So strong.
That was the most alpha play in NFL history.
Dude,
Just
that was such a
'cause,
badass play.
Butler literally caught it. He picked it off, and then Julio was like, "No," and then he
I
just
don't
ripped
get
it out.
these.
Thanks
I
for
don't get
grabbing that
these.
for me.
Yeah. Thanks for playing. It was a little bit of a shot duck. It was like I couldn't catch it. Thanks for placing it in my fucking hands.
Yeah.
And just
See ya.
alphaed him. And when you're Butler, you just gotta be like, damn.
That's
like,
embarrassing for
yeah. You just gotta
Got
be like,
sunned.
you just gotta be like, I made a good play, I thought, but I guess I forgot who was behind me. And
This is a very strong man.
this creature. But no, Julio, we'll see how he does. He'll probably be on the
I hate
IR.
Tampa Bay and they can
The Tom Brady
go
effect.
kick rocks, the Tom Brady Express. But
Yeah.
good for Julio. At least he can't lose to Tom in the Super Bowl if they make it. So
we have a few players that
Enemy,
retired.
enemy.
Danny Amendola, expatriate, 2-time Super Bowl champ, retired.
Yeah.
Chris Carson at the early age of
Ah,
27.
sad. That one's a
very,
bummer.
So
yeah,
sad.
very sad to see him retire. Failed his physical with a neck
Good on the
injury.
Seahawks, by the way. A lot of times in sports, they're looking to save every nickel they can, and they purposely put him on the designation where it allows him to get paid all that insurance money.
Yeah,
Good for them.
no, that's an
Tip of the
all-star
cap
move.
to Petey Carroll over there in the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's an elite move. And
Yeah,
Jason McCourty announces his retirement as well.
sad.
So, yeah, legend.
Short shelf life in the NFL, right?
Very. What is it?
It's like, oh, they're
average-
retaring. You're like, what are you, 31?
Average career length is 4.5 years or
4,
something.
I think, something like that.
Yeah.
4 seasons for the average guy.
Yeah, Tom Brady was 45. Has a retirement home set up already.
Yeah.
Signed a 10-year.
Would rather get hit by a 300-pound man than live with his supermodel wife.
kids.
Just got to get the fuck out of this house.
Just sounds like Brady. Pick the kids up. I'm going back to.
I got to go to camp.
camp.
He purposely has a house that's the other side of the country.
he
So I
had to,
did camps in
he-
Tampa.
Yeah, he had to deal with the elementary school like parking lots, and he's like,
Fuck this.
He had to be part of a pack committee.
Yeah.
Tom, you were supposed to bring the cupcakes to the fundraiser today. Oh, fuck it.
Rob,
I don't care.
should we go back to Tampa? Hey Tom. Yeah, no, but yeah, Tom Brady would rather play football than spend time with a supermodel wife.
Man,
but
he needs another ring. What an
yeah,
asshole.
he does. Yeah, what a dickhead.
You have nothing to prove at this point, Tom. Just give it up.
He's just like shoving it down everyone's throat at this point.
What he should be doing is going to different teams and trying to win with them.
I mean, he was supposed to, and then Brian Flores sued. So
yeah,
that's a story.
Bummer. Should have gone to the 49ers. Sign a 1-year deal.
Yeah, should have. Canadian current Houston Texan wide receiver John Mechie III was diagnosed with leukemia. Fortunately, though, it is the most curable form of leukemia, and says that should be playing sometime soon in the foreseeable future. So that's good news to hear. Unfortunate news that he got diagnosed, but good news that it's the most curable. But obviously, you never know what happens with this kind of stuff. So best of luck to him. Hope he recovers as soon as possible. Demarius Thomas came out that he had CTE, which forced him into retirement. So, I mean, it's kind of old news that, a football player CTE. Weird. That's kind of just...
Your brains are mush after you get hit in the head?
It's expected.
From a guy who's essentially a freight train running at you with another hard helmet.
It's a modern day gladiator. And
yeah.
I'm surprised no one has died on the field yet. But Patriots, they trade all-star receiver N'Keal Harry for a 7th round pick. Had to throw
I was like, where are you going with this all-star player?
Had to throw that in there. Elite blocker.
I think bigger bust, Josh Rosen or N'Keal Harry?
N'Keal Harry by far. Geez, yeah. First round wide receiver, you get drafted to a Tom Brady New England Patriots.
You should have known he was going to be a bust the second it was the first round and you picked him.
And we drafted him over Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, and AJ Brown.
None of those guys are very good.
And Terry McLaurin, right?
Probably.
4 bums.
Yeah.
Yeah, the receiver that just signed for 71 sheets. Yeah. That's a bum.
I think this is extreme value for Chicago. I mean, how to change a 1st round pick to a 7th round pick in about 4 years.
Honestly, yeah, why not? What's a 7th round pick going to do for you? Seriously. Almost nothing. It's like, I'll take a guy who has at least been like on the field.
Yeah.
Our receivers are garbage in Chicago, so let's give it a go.
Yeah, Byron Pringle is arrested, so that's cool. So yeah.
Well, once you pop, you just can't stop. So.
Oh,
fuck.
We're
to prison.
We're shifting leagues right now. Usually, we don't talk baseball on this podcast, but when Blue Jays put 28 on Boston Red Sox head top, I feel like it just has to be talked about for a little bit.
I'm sorry, I pay zero attention to baseball. They scored 28 runs in one game.
Yeah, they beat the Red Sox 28-5 and had an inside the park grand slam.
Ooh, a couple of errors involved there, or what?
The only reason I ever knew about this was solely because people on football Twitter were talking about it, and
that's a football score.
Yeah, I was literally like, okay, well, fuck, let me search this up and let me see Blue Jays versus Red Sox, and of course this is a fucking game every day. It takes me to that game, and I can't find how to search it up properly in a way where it will actually show me the score. So
can't figure out Google.
Yeah, I know. I literally couldn't. So I just searched up Blue Jays schedule and I just scrolled
game
through.
And date. Game and
I
date.
didn't know what day. I didn't know what day it was. I didn't know. And
Blue Jays wrong.
You can't search up Blue Jays versus Red Sox because they don't come up with a fucking game that's on the past.
It shows you the immediate one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to search up their schedule and just scroll through it, and then I found 28-5, and I'm like,
through 100 games.
Yeah, literally.
He's crying as he's doing this so much.
I was so pissed, and I'm like, seeing a score that it was 28-5. I don't know if it was worth it.
It's one of those fucking movie scenes where it's like doing like the fast play where it shows the sun and then the moon and then the sun and then the moon. It's just Hayden sitting at the computer fucking scrolling.
We're typing away trying to find it.
4 days have passed.
The bags under his eyes are Red Bull.
I
Even
literally
the 95 season, I missed it.
I literally could have searched up and tried to find like a baseball beat reporter faster than I would have searching up trying to find the score of the
You could have become
game.
a beat reporter faster.
Or
Than
just go on, literally go on Twitter and search up Toronto Blue Jays, and then every beat reporter will come up.
Yeah, I literally should have, but I didn't think of that. I thought maybe showing recent scores would be top priority on Google's fucking page, but no.
Nah, man, you got.
Yeah,
Google got me.
Google.
Either way, that's hilarious that they scored that many runs.
Dude, it was they put up 23 points by the 5th inning.
Yeah.
At what point do you
mercy rule?
Yeah, like if you're the Red Sox, just be like, we fucking forfeit. We forfeit the fucking game. Like, what's the point? You're just wasting your day.
Yeah, you guys can have this. Just take it, please.
And what
just
was
let me
the
go
inside
home.
the park grand slam? What was that made that score?
So the center fielder got it lost in the lights.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it completely went like 30 feet behind him.
Yeah, hit the back wall.
And then he didn't run after it. He just
got pissed.
He just looked back and just started walking back to the ball.
You know the score was already out of hand at that point, right?
And then it was only like 6-0 at that point.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah. And then the left fielder had to book it over to the ball and throw it back because the center fielder
was walking back to the ball. Did he think when he lost it in his eyes, maybe it like went past him and like was a home run? Or he knew that he just like missed a catch and was like,
he ran forward and was looking up. He was like, he looked to like second base and just put up his arms like,
I don't know where the ball is.
Yeah, and then it landed behind him and like rolled to the wall, so it wasn't close to a home run.
It's got that stupid Benny Hill music.
Yeah, it was I was listening to a Boston podcast today or like yesterday, and one of the guys was at the game and he's like, I'll never be at another game that will have a more pathetic effort than the Red Sox that night, because they had nothing but errors that night. And
what percentage of fans were left in that arena in the stadium by the time that game ended, do you think?
I don't know. Like baseball, it's like tickets are like $10. Tickets are like $30
eating a $3 hot dog, living your dreams.
Like 81 home games, so it's tickets only like $30. So I don't even know if it was packed at that point. Maybe it might have been a bit more packed because it was Toronto and like they're at least a decent team. Like, yeah, divisional game. Anything can happen. But I don't think anyone was expecting 28 piece.
It's 21-5, and you're just like, fuck. Just drunk as shit.
I'm getting hammered. And they were saying, as like Boston fans, we were like, I was almost cheering for 30. Like I was hoping Toronto.
Hell yeah! At that point, you're cheering for the Blue Jays. It doesn't matter, right? Because it's that like barometer of like you're so far past being upset as a fan that your team's losing that it's a comical thing, right? You're like, okay, well, you're like, yeah, I'd be cheering for the Blue Jays at that point.
Yeah, I can't remember who the Canucks were playing, but they got 9 put up on them, and I was cheering for 10. I'm like, put 10 on them
if we're gonna do it.
Yeah, we're gonna make the news anyways. Let's make it 10.
Yeah,
like the Bills in the playoffs against the Patriots.
No, that one pissed me off because there's so much shit. It was like literally Mills was out to lunch and Diggs just kind of just walked past him and then caught a wide open touchdown. That just set me off. But fuck that. That's the only exception where I was like, no. We still have a chance. No.
Everything just has to go right for us in the fourth quarter.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah. But that's all the league info amongst the sports world that I got. The house cleaning topics that I put together. I got a few overrated, underrated, properly rated. I don't know if you guys came with some ammo as well.
Oh yeah.
We can do a couple each. Kind of discuss amongst us, or if you guys want to get out of here, you're more than welcome. We can just end it if you want.
I have no ammo, but I am willing to give an opinion.
All right,
Hayden, you want
to alternate? We'll do a couple each here.
Yeah.
You go first, my boy.
All right. Some of the new football helmets that came out are overrated as fuck. Like the alternate ones. I don't know if you guys saw this, but why does every team just think, yeah, put black on it and that makes it cool? Like
put some shadow on it.
The teams only with like black as a primary color should do that, I think. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why the Cardinals came out with a black helmet. I don't know why the Eagles came out with a black helmet, and the Commanders. I don't know why they came out with a black helmet.
Did they do this because they're also going to have a uniform that's black and they're doing like a blackout jersey?
I mean, that the Eagles and the Commanders, yes, and the Cardinals, yes. I don't like.
And are you only going to wear the helmet with that jersey?
Yeah, you can only do that because, well, actually, I don't even think you could wear black on black because New Orleans, when they came out with their black helmet, and that's why I'm okay with that because they have black as a primary color. Mm-hmm. But we can't wear the black helmet with our black home jerseys.
Yes, you can. Atlanta did it.
No, we can't. We have to wear it with our whites or like a white and gold or a black and white. I don't know.
Well, because Atlanta wore black on black.
It's something with the rules, Jeff. I have no fucking clue. I just saw that the Saints couldn't do black on black, like pants and shirt.
Maybe the pants, but I think you can do helmet with jersey, but not with the pants.
Maybe you need one piece of white clothing.
Or I think you do because Falcons alternates were black helmet, black jersey, white pants.
Yeah, so that might be it. But I mean,
what a stupid rule by the NFL.
It's so dumb. Like, it's a black team going up against a colored team. What
all
does it matter?
Jersey rules.
Yeah,
let a team do whatever they want. Dude, why does the home jersey always have to be one color and you're away? Like, why can't a team, like, Packers are going to go play the Saints and the Packers say, hey, we want to wear our, like, we were thinking about wearing our white jerseys this week, or the Saints get to say, because they're the home team, like, hey, we're going to wear our color this week, so you have to wear the other one. The away team just has to do the opposite of whatever the home team says.
Make it not look the same. Make it not look the same.
Do it like...
why can't two teams wear their home color unless they're Dallas playing
the same color? Yeah.
Yeah. Like
everyone's just wearing an all black jersey and helmet. I don't know what's happening. I don't know who I'm throwing to.
Yeah, no, literally just make it not the same color.
Yeah.
And like, there you go. You know, how awesome would it be to see like a
Patriots are coming back with the
old throwbacks?
I said the alternate.
Those ones are fucking fire.
I have another note that says
no bias
all the throwback lids are fucking sick. It was strictly just the alternate ones that I had a problem with.
That's fair. I don't like the black helmet that it's
you see, I'll be honest
color
though.
Schemes.
I'll be honest though. I love Arizona with black helmet. I like the red Cardinal with a black helmet. I think it looks dope.
Is it like red pants, red jersey, black helmet?
I wish I could tell you.
No idea. The Bengals going all white, that's gonna be fucking sick.
Yeah,
that's the white Tigers.
The white no, that was.
If they're gonna have the fucking white Power Ranger.
And honestly, I really like the Texans. I love the Texans. I hate the Texans. Helmet.
Texans are the worst one. Texans is the worst one.
But yeah, that was just my opinion there. Some of them that don't have the primary color as a color, overrated as fuck.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Since it's such a hot topic amongst the Canucks media, JT Miller, overrated, underrated, properly rated. It's expected he wants around 8 years, $8.5 million, upwards of $9.5 million. Is JT Miller overrated, underrated, properly rated? Coming off a career year, 99 points. Thoughts?
JT Miller is a properly rated player. I don't think that he's definitely not underrated. I don't think anyone's been like, I think he's actually better than what we're talking about. He deserves 11 million. That's insane. He plays in all situations. He plays center, he can play wing. He can dish it. He can score. He's tough. He's got the energy. He's got the motor. He will drag you into a fight. It's just that he's going to be 30.
Yeah.
You need that new contract.
And sometimes his effort level, like on
his attitude.
That's what it is. His attitude, like lazy line changes. Sometimes like he will put either like 110% effort into a play, or sometimes he'll just give up too early on a play, and then it'll like kind of.
I think he's getting better at that. Honestly,
no,
like,
he is. He is 100%. So I think he's properly rated. Hayden?
I think so too. He'll get 8 to 9 million.
Yeah, I agree.
I also think he's properly rated. He had a great season, and I only see it going from here.
If anything, he'd be more overrated than underrated, but I think he's properly rated.
Yeah. Do I think he's going to continue to put up 99 points? No. But
the
guy can put up 80 points.
I was going to say 80 to 90 point player, which is good.
Worth about 8 million.
Yep.
You look at Tkachuk. Tkachuk just got 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
JT Miller's not getting that.
No.
Right. We're going to sign a guy who's in his prime, scoring over 100 points, that essentially does all the things JT Miller does, right? Same kind of guy. He's just younger and better. So you're like, well, if he gets 9.5 as an RFA, and I know you can't compare an RFA to a UFA because blah, 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 but 8-ish million, he could get, I wonder how much he could get if he did a shorter term contract, but that's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah. Hayden, you got one?
Oh, yeah. So I guess we're sticking on with like hockey now.
I mean, you don't have to. You can go anywhere. You can go any direction you want, baby. I'm open arms.
I got one for you while he's thinking of it.
Okay. French fries. Now, this is strictly not McDonald's fries, because I think we can all agree McDonald's fries,
goated,
properly rated.
Okay,
goated.
I was about to yell at you. But
yeah, no, they're properly rated, they're goated. But certain specific fries, I think, are very certainly overrated.
Big facts. You know what fries fucking suck?
Don't
White
you dare
spot.
say it. Yes.
White spot? Yes.
Awful
Yes.
fries. Terrible. I mean,
Absolutely.
still, I mean, it's a fry, so I still enjoy it. But
yeah, underrated fry. Red Robins.
Hell yeah.
Yep. I agree.
Clucks and fries, Jeff. I mean, you can't have the clucks.
I'm a Whiskey River barbecue chicken burger and fries.
Mm-hmm. With refillable basket with
that seasoning salt. Oh my god.
So good.
Have a half chub at dinner. Jesus, Murphy.
A chubby chicken.
One fry that I really liked was the Arby's curly fries.
The curly fry.
Haven't had in a minute.
The unsung hero of the fries.
The specific Arby's curly fries. Those ones. And people always said Arby's was trash. I don't know. I always thought Arby's was severely underrated just because
those
its
meat
name was
sandwiches.
Arby's. Yeah, exactly.
They have the single best slogan in all of fast food. We've got the meats.
Like, yeah, okay, your sandwich kind of resembles some sort of female genitalia, but Jesus Christ, the ham and cheddar sandwich, or not the ham and cheddar, the beef and cheddar sandwich fucking slaps, bro.
I love to imagine the room full of people who are paid to come up with marketing solutions. And they're like, okay, we need a tagline. We need a tagline for Arby's. Okay, what do we have? Well, we have meat.
What do we sell?
Meat sandwiches. Okay, yeah. What if, okay, I got it. We've got the meat.
Yes.
You got it, Jerry. It's gold.
Fucking nailed it.
You know what fries used to be the worst fries, and now I like them a lot? Wendy's.
I was about to, before you stole my spotlight on my own show, I was about to say, what are your thoughts on Wendy's fries?
They're great. I love Wendy's fries now.
Love Wendy's
they used
fries.
to be terrible fries. They used to be bottom barrel fry.
They're so good though.
Mm-hmm.
Wendy's
nice
is
and salty.
Wendy's is my numero uno.
Over a McDonald's fry?
No, like
everything but McDonald's.
Fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
Wendy's
as a whole
is my numero uno.
Fair. That's fair.
Because I think
good burgers.
McDonald's has best fries, worst burgers.
What about the Chicky Nug Nugs? I know maybe you can't have the brand.
I haven't had them in 8 years. So
Chicky Nugs, best nugs, McDonald's. They don't taste like chicken nuggets, but they're the best.
Oh man, yeah,
They're a taste
pretty
all unto
fucking
their
good.
own.
They're pretty fucking good.
Nah, I was gonna say A&W has best burgers. I rank this out of like A&W, Don's, Wendy's, the
Yeah.
one that I have consistently.
Those are the top three big chains.
A&W has best burgers, worst fries, and then Wendy's is 2-2. So I think they're.
I feel like
number one.
A&W is the best quality,
Yes.
right? I
Wendy's.
feel like I'm eating the freshest food
And
when
they
I eat at A&W.
And they fuck up the least.
Yeah.
True, because it takes 20 minutes to get your order because
Yeah.
they're making it from scratch.
Yeah. Wendy's, I'll get my order and I'm like, why do I have a spicy chicken when I ordered a JVC?
McDonald's does that to me all the time. They consistently fuck my shit.
Oh,
But not in a
Pause?
cool way either.
Pause. And they get my order wrong.
And also, sometimes the fries are mistaken. But sometimes they screw up in my favor. I'll tell you a quick little story before we move on to your next little thing. I went to my mom's, I don't know, a couple months ago, and I was like, I'm gonna stop at McDonald's and just get. This is when they had the waffle fries, and I was like, I want some waffle fries. So I was like, oh, I'll get like a cheeseburger and some waffle fries or something, like a fairly small order.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, can you just pull around into spot number 1 over there? And I'm like, yeah, for sure. And I go and I'm sitting there and I'm waiting quite a while. I'm like, this is taking longer than it should for my simple request team. And some guy comes farting out, and he's got a couple bags in his hand, and I'm thinking, oh, he's gonna go to that car, he's gonna go to this car, and da 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 da. And he comes up to me, and I roll my window down. I was like, hello, sir, how are you doing today? He's like, I'm doing well, thank you. How are you? And I'm like, I am also good. And he hands me this bag, and I'm like, seems like too big of a bag for me. And I'm like, oh, I was like, no, I'm just waiting on a cheeseburger or whatever the smaller thing that I ordered was. And I was like, this is definitely not that. He's like, okay, well, here, just 1 second. And he hands me the second bag. And I'm like, what is happening? And he walks away thinking, and he's now thinking that I've said, like, you've missed my cheeseburger. But I'm just trying to tell him, this isn't my food. And so I'm like, okay, well, now I'm holding on to someone else's food, which I'm already like, if I'm the person who's waiting for it, I wouldn't want that food. Now some stranger in a car's had it. So, and this guy takes like, I don't know, I'm going to say a full 3 to 5 minutes pass, which is too long, right? Like I'm here for fast food, right?
This isn't
and so
fast.
I just went, fuck it. And I drove away with these 2 bags of food. I get to my mom's. I have no idea what's in these bags yet. And I get there, and it was a Big Mac, 2 medium fries, 6 chicken nuggets, a McWrap, a junior chicken, and a Coke.
Oh my God.
So I paid, I don't know, $6.
And you probably got worth like $30 to
$40. So sometimes
that car behind you was pissed.
I can only imagine the guy comes
I
out
paid
and he's
$40 and I got a
cheeseburger. And he goes to the car and he's like, I had the order for you, sir. And the guy's like got a family screaming in the back. Kids freaking the fuck out. Like, no, it's Cory's. It's Cory's McDonald's. Me and my mom ate a bunch and saved some for my sister. I was so full.
That's so
God,
fucking
that's
funny.
I ate way too
amazing.
much McDonald's that day.
That's amazing. Cory, you can go with your the one that you had, and then
I was just gonna say it's back. It's been gone for a long time now that we're on the fast food train. Over, under, or properly rated, the Whistle Dog from A&W. If you guys even know what that is.
No.
Not a clue.
It's the hot dog you can get at A&W. They used to sell a hot dog forever. Like when our parents were young, they had the Whistle Dog. So it's a hot dog and a wiener, and you cut the wiener down the middle, like you slit it so it's like open a little bit, and it's got like cheese and I believe bacon and relish, I think, is the traditional Whistle Dog toppings. I haven't had one since it's been back, and I am chomping at the bit to go, but you guys don't know what it is, so that's fine. Jevin, you can't eat hot dog buns, so I don't know if they have a gluten-free option. Sorry. Hayden, go to A&W, try a fucking Whistle Dog.
Right.
Sounds
After
delicious.
this episode, everybody get in their cars. Go to A&W.
All right.
Maybe I'll go for lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine, coward. I pull up 3 Whistle Dogs.
That's why I've been waiting for these. You know,
Yeah,
we've been
I'm
talking about an
logging
hour and a
off.
half now.
Yeah, I'm logging off.
Just been waiting for a moment where I can pull it up.
Yeah.
How do I bring these up in conversation?
Are we talking about a guy who showboats? He's hot dogging it. Oh,
All right, last one here. Left Side Heavy, the podcast. Over, under, or properly rated?
I think it's underrated.
Underrated.
Some people don't know about it, and some people don't know about big plans that we have in the future, Jeff.
You're
Left
Left Side Heavy is the greatest podcast that you probably haven't
I
listened
thought
to
you were
yet.
gonna say left side hats, and I was like, "You've got merch."
No, I just can't speak at this hour of the day.
Oh my god, left side merch. That's a good
Left
one.
Side merch.
You can make a hat easy.
Easily. Yeah.
Easily.
Hats.com.
Boys, this has been an absolute blast. Corey, thank you so much for joining us on this fine evening. Where can the people find you?
You find me on Twitter, Cory_Letendre. You can just search me up. You know, you got a hot tip on a cool news story, I might need it.
And where can
that's
they listen?
Here on the Left Side Heavy podcast. I haven't done the Snacktastic in a while. Carrie had a baby. Yeah.
He's all
Kids
growed
ruin
up.
your lives, everybody.
He's all growed up.
Yeah, all grown up. So now instead of talking about snacks, I'm just eating them.
But
And then keeping my opinions to myself.
on the radio, are they going to be able
980
to hear?
CKNW from, I mean, if you want to listen to the Mike Smith show, he's an entertaining guy. If you want to hear about debates that ultimately don't matter, but we'll call it the Great Something Debate anyways. It's good. It's a good listen. He's a bombastic guy. You learn a thing or two from him when you listen to Mike Smith. That's
Love
from
that.
9 to noon
Love
on
that.
980 CKNW.
Awesome. Hayden?
Oh, you know where to find me at Hayden_Barton on Instagram and Twitter. Be
Lit.
sure to give your boy a follow.
For sure. For sure.
We're rising up in the world, Jeff, and
sure.
we're gonna make it one day.
Sounds good, brother. I like the sounds of that a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
Harry and Lloyd.
I like it a lot.
Harry and Lloyd. Oh boy.
But
who's Harry and who's Lloyd?
yeah.
I'll let you guys decide.
Hayden, for Kelsa's wedding, we have to show up in the blue and orange suits.
Dude, that was.
That would
You
be
can hang out by the bar, put
Yeah.
out the vibe.
Yeah, the wrong way. Pops champagne, kills a bird.
You sold my dead bird to a
I'm
blind
so
kid.
funny.
So funny. That movie is our pets' heads are falling off.
Pets are
We
falling
got
off.
no gas. We got no food. Our pets' heads are falling off.
You
You want to
had
hear
an
the most
extra pair of
annoying
gloves.
sound in the world?
So funny. That's hilarious. All
You'll
right.
have to excuse my friend. He's a little slow.
Yeah.
Drinking grandpa's medicine.
Harry, I hope you're not using the toilet. It doesn't work. Oh no.
No, I'm just shaving.
Oh, we could go on
fuck.
forever. But you guys know where to follow me on Instagram at Jevin.Lefave, on Twitter at JevinLefave. Find everything for the show on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at LeftSideHeavy_. YouTube is Left Side Heavy. Subscribe, comment, like, notifications. Helps grow the show. What also helps grow the show is leaving a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcasts. Corey, once again, thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday evening. And folks, whoever's listening, thank you for listening, and we will see you next week. Peace.
Deuces.
Well, you say that we're in the right place. Do you know it? Do you know it? Did you tie yourself down? Are you losing your grace? Did you blow it? Did you lose?